So, chapter 9, part 2, Nitya Dharma, Material Science and Civilization. And in the part 2, if you see that, we are seeing a clear difference between Saktites and Vaishnavas, right? And if you see that on the left side, I am really putting the attributes of the Saktites. Saktites means those who really worship Sakti, in this case, Durga, Kali, all those. And now the right side I am putting Vaishnavas. Okay, so I am giving a contrast here now. So now Kali worshippers, their primary focus is sense enjoyment. Enjoy the wealth, that is Kanaka. Enjoy the woman, that is Kamini. And be fame, that is Pratishta. Okay, now name and fame, that is Pratishta. Then also enjoy meat, wine, fish, etc. So this is purely sense enjoyment. Okay. Now, if you see the other side, that's the counteract, sense, there it is sense control. So here it is sense enjoyment. There in the Vaishnava side, we really focus on sense control. So for example, this is for Vaishnava, okay? Kanaka, Kamini, Pradishta, Bhagini, Chariyache, Jare, Seito, Vaishnava, Sei Anasakta, Sei Suddha Bhakta, Samsara Tada Pai Parabhava. So here what it is saying is, Vaishnava, is really abandoned by the tigress. This tigress won't eat, won't do any harm to these kind of people who Kanaka, Kamini, Pradishta. These are the tigers. These are the three ones. They won't be, able to bite a Vaishnava because they won't do that. So one who has been abandoned by the tigress of money, beautiful woman and fame is truly a Vaishnava. Such a soul alone is truly detached. Such a soul is a pure devotee. The illusory creation of repeated birth and death is defeated before him. Okay, so most of the population wants to enjoy this world. This is the reason they are attracted to Durga and other worships. This is the reason why Swami Vivekananda's all teachings are completely wrong. But the real goal of our life in this world is to control our senses. This is actually a school. We are supposed to really learn our lesson and then go back, not to really get entangled here, in enjoyment. So, if you see that in Gita, so the real goal is what? In the world is to really control our senses. In Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna to control the senses. But Arjuna says, oh Krishna, I can even we may be able to control the wind, but I won't be able to control my mind. And Lord Krishna says, agreed. Yes, that is very difficult. Yes, Vaishnavas are the best in controlling their senses. So naturally, they become opposite to Durga worships. Now, if you see this chart, okay, so here we are actually going through the Sakti of Krishna. In fact, Sakti of Krishna is only one, but it acts differently because when it is really trying to do different functions. Okay, so we have internal Sakti, marginal Sakti, and Yogamaya, which is all related to the external Sakti. So internal Sakti, if you see, Sandhini, Samvit, and Haladini. Sandhini is Balaram, and from Balaram comes all the other expansions. Remember, you have the quadruple expansion, everything. They're all coming from Balaram, all the way, even including Lord Narayana. So Balaram, that is Sat Sakti, Sat. Then Samvit is Krishna himself is actually appearing as a Chit, that is Chit Sakti. Then Ananda, that is Haladini, is actually Radhika comes. So only one Sakti who is actually because of different functionalities, they are differentiated like this. Alright, so that's what we call it Sat is Ananda. Sat is Sandhini and Sit is Samvit and Ananda is Haladini. And now, okay, before I come to the marginal, I will talk about the Yogamaya side. Now there is the external potency. This external potency is the one who really manifests first as Yogamaya in the spiritual world. And then externally, he actually appears as Durga Devi, which is called Prakriti. So all the Jada lokas, all the Jada things, like inert things, are all actually basically manifestation of Durga Devi, who is also called Mahamaya. So you have Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is in the spiritual realm, and Mahamaya is in the Jadaloka, okay, material world. Now, who is actually Yoga Maya? In Krishna's Leela, Paurnamasi, who has who really arranges all the different pastimes of Lord Krishna. So she actually is actually an expansion of Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya herself actually. Now also she also comes as Subhadra. Remember Subhadra? She was actually born as the sister of Krishna. She is Sakshat Yoga Maya. In Jagannath Puri temple, we worship Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. That Subhadra is Yoga Maya, not Mahamaya, not Durga. Okay. So now Durga is the one who is there in this material world where the people are getting controlled by Maya. This is the Maya. Okay. So this is the one which is who has the three attributes of material nature: Satvik and Rajasic and Tamasic. So this is how every jiva who is really in this material world, they are all subjected to her control. Okay. So one is purely spiritual, all right, and the other side is spiritual. Then it gets reflected in the Brahmajyoti and becomes Mahamaya. Okay. In between is a marginal. This is the thing. Actually, the jivas belong to marginal. Why it is marginal? It is subjected to the Maya. So this is a problem because jivas are so small. Chit anu, very very small. If you take a tip of the hair, very tip of the hair, and then cut that that portion into 10,000 parts, and you take one part and again cut that into 10,000 parts, and whatever that is coming that we cannot see, that is typically the size of the jiva. So what it means is jiva is actually very very insignificant compared to the Lord Krishna, for example, Bhagavan. Okay, but because of this size, these jivas is actually very easily get subjected to the influence of Maya. That's what's happening. That is why we are in the marginal. Sometimes we'll be in the spiritual world, and sometimes we are in the material world, and back and forth until we eventually go back to completely to Krishna. Okay, so that is beyond every dimension. Now also we see that in the Naradiya Pancharatra, right, we see a verse like this: Tava Vakshai Radaham Rase Brindavane Vane. Right? In the forest known as Brindavana, I am your internal Sakti, Sri Radhika, who adorns your chest in the Rasa dance. So that is why Sakti is only one. But the way he acts, when he really acts that on the Jada Sakti, becomes Jada Sakti, that is where the problem comes. The jivas are got really into that and get into all the meat eating and enjoying and women and money and fame. This is the problem because of the weakness of the jiva. Okay, but the Sakti is basically only one Sakti, but it really has different functionalities. Whether it is really doing in the spiritual world or in the material world, she gets a name. That's what it is. So if one really worships, the Durga Devi, for example, right? So if one is genuine, saying, I don't want all these things. I want only who is the Bhagavan. Please show me. Durga Devi will become Yoga Maya. She will show herself as Yoga Maya, and then she will actually show her souls, which is Radhika. But the problem is Jivatma, when like Digambara and all those all the things whatever we are really read so far, they are in a wrong place, in a wrong mood and wrong attitude. That is why they are not really able to really get the real truth. This is the problem. It's the same Sakti, but it really acts in different ways. So now I imagine putting this slide to really show you more how the Yoga Maya and the Mahamaya are actually coming into the picture. So Vishnu Maya is actually Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. You can actually call Yoga Maya or Mahamaya. They are all actually part of the Vishnu Maya. Now Vishnu Maya is she is subjected to under the control of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. That is why she is called Vishnu Maya. She doesn't have any freedom by herself. So in the spiritual world, as I mentioned, that you really see Yoga Maya. Right? Yoga Maya is Lord Krishna's sister. Okay? Remember when the mother Yashoda gave birth, there were actually two. Okay? Not that many people know about it. Okay? So that sister was the one who was visible to the Madura king, like when he really came, Vasudeva, when he really brought the Narayana form, he was the one, he did not see the other Bhagavan there. Okay, so now he really took this Yoga Maya. She actually, when she really crossed the Yamuna, that Yoga Maya turned into Mahamaya, who was actually worshipped by Kamsa. Okay, so here what I am saying is, in the spiritual world, Yoga Maya is Lord Krishna's sister. She is spiritually completely functional there. Now the reflection in the Brahma Jyoti, okay, the same Yoga Maya, when she is reflecting, she is actually reflecting as Mahamaya, whom we call as Maya or Durga. So that is the material world. Okay, so Jivatma, when they really fall from the spiritual world to the material world, this is what happens. Okay, so that spiritual world is actually Tadastha, not really Bhagavan's abode. So when the Jiva falls down, so that Jiva is subjected under the control of this Durga Devi, Maya. Okay, all right. Now, is the Sakti is really independent? Unlike Digambara was arguing, actually, how can that be? It's a common sense even. Sakti, who is also called Prakriti, is subordinate to the Saktiman, who has the Sakti. That is Purusha. In our body, we simply think of moving our finger, and that is the brain. Which is akin to Purusha. And our energy, that is what actually makes the finger to move. You cannot just like that, without thinking that, finger does, by its own. And then it is trying to control the brain the other way. That is not possible. So a Purusha is the one who, under whose will the Sakti acts. We cannot differentiate. A Saktiman and Sakti, they are one and the same. Like you have the fire, and from the fire we have the heat. So now, can you separate that? It's not possible. Okay, but however, the Sakti, that the power, that the heating power or the lighting power is really inherent property, and it is under control of the fire itself. So Purusha is the controller. That is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is the Saktiman, and these all the Sakti that we are actually talking about, Yoga Maya, Mahamaya, they are all basically under subordinate to the Saktiman. Okay. So now if you see, there are now coming to the Jada Loka, right? So basically material world, we have 8 components of the material energy. That is the Jada Sakti. Remember the same Sakti, when it is really acting on the material energy, that is actually Durga Devi. Okay. So now what are those 8 components? Bhumira piyo analo vayu kammano butiryevacha ahangara itiyam me binna prakritirashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separator material energies. This is something really highly, involved. Because fire, water, sky, air, that is understandable. But how these material energies, actually even our mind is material, our intelligence is material, and our false ego is material. How will you understand that? Because our body has two types. Okay? And that is outer gross body and then subtle body. Gross body is the one which is really made up Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu. Okay? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether means sky, Akash. So these are the 5 elements that is in our external body. That is the gross body. But inside which we do not see, there is a Shushma body. Shushma Sarira. Linga Sarira is our external body, and Sushma Sarira is our internal body. That is where the mind, intelligence and false ego, everything is coming. Yes, I am thinking, you see my mind. I am using my intelligence, and I have my own personality. I really feel that I am separate. I do this one, certain things belonging to me. This is mine, that is me, that is all the things are there. But you say that they're all material? Absolutely. It's materially contaminated. The spirit, which is really going beyond that, is our soul. So on the soul, we have the just over that we have the first coating, which is subtle body, and then the second coating is basically the gross body. Okay, so this is the very, very important. This is how a jiva is really entrapped, and we are actually subjected mostly by what? All these material energies only. This is the problem. Our mind is material. Always remember, our mind is material. Why our mind is material? Can we think about the spiritual dimension? Can our mind think of any spiritual dimension at all? Does it really see Krishna all the time? And all the gopis and all the wonderful worlds actually they are dancing and singing. Are we able to really see that? Our mind cannot. It is completely impossible because it's material. Intelligence. We have so much of intelligence. What kind of intelligence we have? Our intelligence is based on whatever that this material world can provide here. Newton's that law, Newton's law, this law, that law, this law, so many theories and everything that we study is only relevant to the material world. Nothing to do with the spiritual world. And then false ego. Why is false ego? Ego is ego. But what is false ego? False ego means I am the body. I am the father. I am so and so. I have this degree. I am this. I am that. So many things that we really again, get into this kind of conception because of our involvement in the material world. It's a false ego. Ego is true, is there. What is the right ego? What is the true ego? I am the servant of Krishna. That is the true ego. So here it is a false ego because it materially contaminated and it becomes possessiveness. That is what is spoil everything. And now if you see, we are caught in the whirlpool. The jivas who are really, stuck in this material world, they are really cheated. They are cheating but they are cheating, we are cheating ourselves. We are thinking that by enjoying this material world, we think that we are happy, which is completely wrong. We are actually caught in the whirlpool. It's so strong by the Maya. So, actually the illusory, the material energy is cheating everyone. People do not know they are doing, when they worship the material energy that in the form of Kali or Durga for our material boons. They ask, Mother, give me great riches, give me good wife, beautiful wife, give me fame and give me victory. But such devotees of Goddess Maya or Durga do not know they are being cheated by that goddess herself, because that is her job. But as soon as you ask her, oh Devi, show me the reality. When you really call someone to complain, you say, I want to talk to the manager. Then that she has to give it to the manager. The same way, as soon as you put that kind of question, I want to see Bhagavan. Can you show Bhagavan the truth? Can you show the truth? Where is the spiritual world? I want to find the truth. She has to connect you to there. That is their job. Because we are contaminated, we really are ignorant, we are greedy, we are actually so stupid to really enjoy this world. That is why she is really giving suffering. She is giving something from, with his left hand, and with the right hand she is beating. She is giving money here, and then there comes the problem. She is giving a beautiful wife, and because of her, you really have sleepless nights. This is the problem. So material achievement is actually no achievement at all. Because as soon as one is illusioned by the material gifts, he becomes more and more entangled. And there is no question of liberation. In fact, people really think that whether Maya catches the soul or we catch the Maya. Okay, this is one perspective. And there was actually Janaka Maharaja's palace. There was one saint visited, and Maharaja invited the saint, and then he was asking a question. Oh saint, I have a question to really ask you. You have to please answer. Why the people are in the clutches of Maya? So instead of answering the question, He just walked to a pillar in the palace right there. And he just caught the pillar, and it was really shouting, "Oh, leave me, leave me, leave me, leave me, leave me." And everyone in the court got stunned. Some thought that the sadhu had gone crazy. Or he's a mad sadhu? Then the sadhu asked the Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, whether he got the answer. The king said, "No, I didn't get the answer." Then the sadhu said, "It is the living entity who go voluntarily get into Maya." You have to be very careful here. Because you can talk from Maya's angle that Maya catches the Jiva. Or from Jiva's point of view, he is talking about. Because the Jiva has an inclination to enjoy the material world. That is why he has been, he's getting born and dead and born and dead. Okay, so the truth is really actually very, very intricate. But then he is saying, as soon as you really, you let that to go, he will go. But how that is possible? It is almost impossible. How will you? Because you see that 99% of the people in this world are sense enjoyers. Hardly 1% is Vaishnavas. But here the fact is, can they really by their own wish, get away from the entanglement of this Maya? It's not possible. That is why. Why? Because we are ignorant and we are bodily attached. So we have to spiritually attached and so that we detach from the material world by worshipping the Lord. So the proper way to give up the Mahamaya is Devi Hyesha Gunamai Mama Maya Durataya Mam Yeva Ye Prapatyante Mayam Yetam Tarandite. This is the proper way to really relinquish, not just like a catching the pillar example actually. We cannot let it go. Yeah, please go, okay, leave me. But the problem is, how is it possible? He says, Lord Krishna says, this divine energy, this material, external energy of mind, consisting of three modes of material nature, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic, is very difficult to overcome. We cannot really fight and win from her. How can it be possible? Because that energy is Krishna's energy. So you are trying to fight with Krishna's energy and try to win? It's not possible. It's just impossible. So that's why he says, it's difficult to overcome. Because you are trying to fight with my own energy. Who is deluding you? But those who surrender unto me can easily cross over it. So this is the proper way. This is what Vaishnavas do. So just worship, surrender to Guru and Krishna, and you are out of the Mahamaya, finished. That is it, done. So the real happiness is inside our mind by controlling our senses. A devotee will never ever have depression, but always happy. Does not matter where he is put. Inside a small 6 feet by 6 feet container or something, doesn't matter. He will be happy there too. And he does not have any anxiety because he is already liberated and he is already living in Vaikuntha. He is not going to be worried as he has surrendered. There is nothing to be worried about. Krishna will take care of. And he is always happy. Why? He is enjoying the inner peace. These Durga worshippers and all those people, they are trying to enjoy the outer side, which is like a scratch, just like that, you have itch and then you are trying to scratch and scratch and scratch. Finally, you are thinking, oh yeah, it is so nice to scratch my wound. But finally what happens? That scratch, it becomes swollen and become inflamed and then it will become septic and it gives more problem. Isn't it? So, the so-called sense enjoyment is a tickling. It's a mind tickling. They are temporary and like scratching your itch, itch. But it will be growing bigger and become painful. Vaishnavas know that. That is why they are so much blissful. Because they are inside. They are they are controlled, and they, feel the real happiness inside. And getting sadhu sangha is very difficult. At the end, towards the end, that's what you will see that one. Isn't it? Yavate mayaya sprishta brahmam ihe karma bihi tavat bhavat prasanganam sangakshyano bhave. Dear Lord, as long as we have to remain with this material world, due to our material contamination and wander from one type of body to another and from one planet to another, we pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. We pray for this benediction life after life, in different bodily forms and in different planets. So we see that one should not associate with people like Digambara. That is why Advaita Dasa tries to get away from him. Advaita Dasa got a good sadhu sangha. Getting sadhu sangha is very, very difficult. A non-Vaishnava cannot be purified by any means. This is what, because actually now a question arises. Can even though so many people are worshipping different this way and that way, can they be purified at all? Like Digambara. But the Shastra says completely different. Isn't it? So now we see that in spite of so many wonderful arguments from Vaishnava Dasa, Digambara did not even make a single bit of move towards it. Not even a bit. He cannot be cleansed easily. We see the sloka. One who is averse to Narayana or Krishna cannot be cleansed at all. Praya chittani chirnani Narayana paranmukam niyavat nishpunandi Rajendra surakumbam iva pagaha. O king, just as the water of many rivers cannot purify the contaminated wine pot, king, there is as many water from so many rivers cannot purify a wine pot. A person like this, who is averse to Narayana or Krishna, cannot be purified by all different types of atonement. He may be going to all the punya salas and all the places and worship and taking tirtha. But even then, even if he is executing all those things again and again, very, very systematically, very thoroughly, he is just impossible to purify him. This is the problem. Then why Vaishnava Dasa really wanted to avoid Digambara? If you see that. Satyam Saucham Daya Maunam Buddhi Sri Hirirya Sakshamaha Samodamo Bhagascheti Yat Sangatyati Sankshayam. One should not associate with the coarse fool who is bereft of the knowledge of self-realization and who is no more than a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. Te shvashandeshu mudeshu kanditatma shvashadushu sangam na kuryachosyeshu yoshid krida mrigeshu cha. He becomes devoid of truthfulness, mercy, gravity, spiritual intelligence, shyness, austerity, fame, forgiveness, control of the mind, control of the senses, fortune, and all such opportunity, everything will be collapsed, finished. So we should not associate with the coarse fool. One should not associate. With a who is bereft of knowledge of what? Krishna, Narayana, self-realization, and who is no more than dancing dog in the hands of women. What are their what are their targets? Their goals? WWW. What is WWW? Right? Wealth, women, wine, and meat. This is what they do. So now we can see the contrast so clearly. So we have to associate only with the Krishna devotees to advance. Otherwise, just we will be again born and born and born and born. And we will be going through the sufferings, birth after birth. And there is no way of liberation. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhakyavan Jiva. Maybe sometimes if we really happen to do any punya, any sukriti, when they are actually, when the jivas are actually going one planet to another, exploiting every material resources that it can do. See, this particular bacteria, this jiva is kind of a bacteria. It eats everything. Tell me anything in this world that the jiva is not trying to enjoy. Everything she will enjoy. That is why Krishna calls that jiva is what? Exploiting the resources. My Jada Sakti is exploited by these jiva who are not fortunate. Those who are fortunate, they will do punya. And by the punya, they will be given the chance to really associate with the sadhu. And by associating with the sadhu, what comes next? Then the bhakti comes. The sadhu will give what sadhu sangha. So the sadhu sangha is so powerful that we have seen in the previous classes anyway. All right. So this is how we should be really very careful. And we, in fact, you are all who are actually attending here. Not everybody is attending. Not everybody has that kind of fortune to really attend these kind of classes. Simply they are ignorant. They are fools. They are really got carried away in that whirlpool of that Maya. And they are really in the name of sense enjoyment. With a forest fire. It is burning ever and ever. And the only way that can be extinguished. Icheto darpanam marjana bhavamaha is by Nama Sankirtan. That Nama Sankirtan is that can come only by Sadhu Sangha. Yes, Sadhu can actually give you. That's the only way to clean your mirror of the heart and then engage in the bhajans and say bye-bye to this material world and then go back to Goloka or Vaikunta, wherever that your destiny is, and be there permanently without anxiety. Vaikunta means Vaikunt. Why? No. Kuntu means anxiety. There is no anxiety there. There is no worry there. You are always happy there. No birth, no death. No disease, no old age. You will be always happy all the time. So much of varieties there. Especially Goloka. It's always varieties. There is no concept of Kala. There is no time there. It really always, you are full in bliss. That bliss is inner. It's not material bliss. It is spiritual bliss. And that is why the Vaishnavas really have the taste of that. And right from the beginning, as soon as they really get a guru, because the guru will really force them to really get into this. And then this bhakta will really develop the inner happiness. That is Vaishnava. Okay, so associate only with the Krishna devotees to advance. Avoid any materialistic. Okay, all right. Here I conclude. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanja kalpa tarupchecha, kripa sindhupyevacha, paditanam pavanepyo, Vaishnavepyo. All glories to Gurudev. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.